In some movies, you may have seen a scene where a space shuttle complete with astronauts has been sent to other planets for some research and is setting off to explore them. And I'm sure there are plenty of people out there wondering why we never get the chance to see such a space shuttle in the real world. Well, let me tell you that a space shuttle is almost ready to go into space, and as a matter of fact, it can carry more than 4 astronauts at the same time. And it is made by none other than Elon Musk. So, what kind of spacecraft is this? Well, stay tuned till the end of this video to find out. Hey guys, welcome to SpaceX Live! Hit the subscribe button and turn on the notifications to get new updates about space, Musk, Tesla, technology, and basically anything about science and SpaceX. Also, hit the like button to show your love. In today's video, we'll be talking about Elon Musk's new $15,000 tiny house that will revolutionize the world. So, without further ado, let's begin! A SpaceX Crew Dragon capsule is a spacecraft that is designed for the purpose of carrying astronauts between Earth and the International Space Station. The product is the product of SpaceX, a private company founded in 2002 by Elon Musk with the aim of exploring space. It is notable that the Crew Dragon is a state-of-the-art spacecraft that represents the latest in space technology and engineering. But there is an interesting story behind this space shuttle. You see, since the retirement of the space shuttle program in 2011, NASA has been relying on the Russian Soyuz spacecraft to transport astronauts to the International Space Station. Many within NASA, however, considered this reliance on a foreign partner to be a vulnerability, particularly in light of the current geopolitical climate in which we live. It was a response to this threat that NASA started the Commercial Crew program in 2010, with the goal of developing American-made spacecraft that would be capable of transporting astronauts to and from the International Space Station. And as a result of this program was the development of 2 spacecraft, the Boeing CST-100 Starliner and the SpaceX Crew Dragon. The Crew Dragon capsule from SpaceX is a human-rated spacecraft that has been designed to carry astronauts between the International Space Station and the Earth. In order to develop cost-effectiveness and safe access to space, NASA has partnered with private industry to develop the Commercial Crew program, which aims to work with the private sector to develop safe, reliable, and cost-effective ways to reach space. Talking about its design, Crew Dragon is a sleek, gumdrop-shaped spacecraft that is 8.1 meters (26.7 feet) tall and has a diameter of 4 meters (13 feet), which gives it a sleek appearance. It is composed of 2 main components that make up the spacecraft, the capsule and the trunk. Space capsules serve as crew compartments, which are where astronauts live and work during the flight. In terms of volume, it has a volume of 10 cubic meters, 353 cubic feet, which is roughly equivalent to the interior space of a small recreational vehicle, or RV. In fact, this capsule is equipped with a number of systems to support the crew in space, such as environmental control and life support systems, communication systems, navigation and control systems, and many others. Moreover, the capsule is also equipped with a variety of safety systems to protect the crew in the event of an emergency. For example, it has an advanced abort system that can quickly separate the capsule from the rocket in the event of a malfunction during launch. And it also has a heat shield that protects the crew during re-entry into Earth's atmosphere. The trunk of a spacecraft is the lower section of the spacecraft on which the propulsion and support systems of the spacecraft are located. It can be used as an additional space for cargo and equipment that is too large or too dangerous to be carried inside the capsule. But the question is how many people it will be able to carry into space. You see, it was originally intended for Crew Dragon to carry 7 passengers when it was first displayed to the public in May 2014, and at that time, Elon Musk was predicting that a new spacecraft that would be referred to as Dragon V2 would have features such as reusability and the ability to land with the precision of a helicopter. In his words, that is how a 21st century spaceship should land. He said after unveiling the interior of the capsule, which is equipped with 7 seats arranged in 2 rows, 4 up top and 3 down below. There was a time when NASA was seeking a 7-person capability from SpaceX in order to be able to support full complements of crews on the International Space Station. During the period between 2011 and 2020, after the retirement of the space shuttle, the number of individuals in the station was reduced to 6, or the capacity of the Russian Soyuz vehicles. As there are 7 people on board instead of 6, that means more hands are available for science since maintenance consumes a large portion of astronauts' time on board. So, once SpaceX actually began flying crewed missions to the station, the orbital laboratory's crew size was indeed upgraded to 7, but with 4 riding on a Dragon and 3 on Russian Soyuz capsules. As part of SpaceX's Crew Dragon mission, the spacecraft splashed down in the ocean off the coast of Florida instead of making a landfall on land. There were only 2 astronauts on board, SpaceX's Demo 2 test flight for NASA in May 2020, although it was the first crewed flight of Crew Dragon, although 4 seats were carried. The flight was a test flight to the International Space Station and lasted 63 days, 23 hours and 25 minutes. SpaceX has stated that a minimum of 2 people would be needed aboard its spacecraft, which would be a commander and a pilot. In the crew of the spacecraft were Commander Douglas Hurley and pilot Robert Bernkin. both of whom were NASA astronauts on their third and final spaceflight. In fact, with the pair on board, the mission was a success by achieving a safe launch, docking, undocking, landing, and splashdown. Moreover, during the Demo 2 mission, SpaceX launched the Crew Dragon capsule with 4 seats installed, even though the test flight only carried a crew of 2, and from a launch to splashdown. Demo 2 lasted about 2 months and showed Crew Dragon was ready to carry a larger crew. So, after Crew 1, SpaceX's first operational flight scheduled to take place in November 2020, the company has decided to use a 4-person configuration when it comes to NASA flights and private crew flights. And not only this, but Musk funded the Inspiration 4 mission and flew on a 5-day space mission in September 2021 with 4 people on board. Its commander and funder, Jared Isaacman, later created a successor series of private flights on Dragons called the Polaris program, which will see the debut mission Polaris Dawn fly around 2023 or so with another 4-member crew on board. Inspiration 4 featured a variant of Crew Dragon, which featured a wraparound cupola window that allowed the crew to enjoy a high-altitude view of the Earth from their cupola. That's because Resilience didn't need to carry a docking port for ISS activities, allowing room for the window to be installed. Crew capability has been up to 4 people for a week without docking or 6 months with the docking. On top of that, we also saw an unusual situation early in 2023 that showed a 5th seat can even be added during an outgoing space mission that was supposed to carry home 4 people only. But in December 2022, a crew of the International Space Station was forced to miss its return home after a Russian Soyuz MS-22 lost all its coolant after a meteoroid strike. It was the Russian space agency Roscosmos that sent up a second Soyuz, MS-23, as a replacement ride. It successfully docked with the space station on February the 25th, 2023. In the meantime, something had to be done to tide the crew over during the 2-month gap before the fresh spacecraft arrived at its destination. As a result, Roscosmos determined that 2 of the MS-22 crew members could return home inside if the ISS needed to be evacuated. 2 people would heat up the spacecraft, less than 3. But Frank Rubio, a NASA astronaut, would still need to leave in some other way during an emergency. The solution was put to Rubio in a Crew Dragon docked with ISS with MS-22 at the same time, NASA officials announced on January the 18th. In order to handle Rubio's seatliner, the agency asked its crew, 5 astronauts, to use Endurance to move it from its Suez. Then, it took some cargo straps from a Cargo Dragon vehicle, whose mission was known as CRS-26, for some clever repurposing. All in all, it means that the Crew Dragon can thus fly up to 7 people at a time. Moreover, we have learned that space modifications can be made on the fly if necessary, allowing a wide variety of space crews to use it for orbital activities depending on the modifications that are needed. So maybe there will be more modifications in the future. We don't know for sure, but what do you guys think? Tell us in the comments. And that's it for the day, guys. We hope you liked the video. If you did, then like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll catch you in the next one. Until then, peace.